Till now we created put request, get request and post request. We did all of them. Now it's time to check how we can use the delete API to delete something. So if you go to the like documentation over there for RESTful booker, this is the API documentation. And if we go to delete booking, so on the left side there are a couple of things are there. One of them is delete booking. If you click over there, then you'll see the delete booking details. So this is the delete method, and this is the URI, and this is the resource. And part of this resource has like path, right? You can say like which is the ID. So this ID is coming basically based on the booking ID, right? So based on that it will start deleting. So here we need two headers. One is the content type header and there is cookie header, right? Cookie is token. So for our case basically we already have all of them, right? So let's see how we can do this thing. So at first I'm going to jump to the editor, and then here I'm going to type the name of the like test case which we are going to right now, and it should be a delete method, right? So it will delete something. So we can mention like the method name is test delete booking, and as this is a method we can do like this way. Okay, now we need to configure this method. It should be void type, and let's it is public, right? public public, and this is a test case, right? So we have to type test case sign test annotation test basically like this. And here we can set the priority. Previously put priority, now we can put the priority like 6, for example. Priority is 6. Okay, and also we can make it dependent on this thing, like once we update then we will delete. Okay, so we can mention like this way. So this is the update date, no, not this one. So this one, this one. So once it is updated then only we can delete like this way. So I'm going to type like this way, like depends on methods. Actually we can use this thing after creation. We can also delete this thing, right? So we can mention like this way. This is also possible. So I'm going to do this thing that will be more robust, like test creating booking. So this one. So after this we can also delete this thing. So I'm going to add that method name over here. Okay, now the TestNG configuration is done. Now let's start writing the RESTful API part. So as usual it has 3 blocks: given, then when, then last is then. So these 3 are the REST assured API thing basically, right? So now inside the given we'll use like a spec thing. We have those things basically dot spec, and then we can choose request spec. Okay, so that request spec will be configured. Now the next thing is that we have on like ID, right? So this is booking ID, right? So this is a path parameter. We can mention like this way. So I'm going to type dot path parameter, and then we have to mention whatever path parameter is there and what is the value. So the value and the path parameter. So the value is like, what is the value? Let me check. So here we can mention like ID, right? So once we open the editor, then I can mention like it will be like ID. Okay, and then after that here we can initialize the value. Here basically we have to initialize the value for this ID. So the value of this ID is like this. So we can mention like what is the name of the variable? Let me check. So here, right, created booking ID. So we can use that that thing basically. Okay, so this is the value. Okay, so what we did, we added a path parameter with the ID, and the value of the ID is this one, right? So now let's work with when. So this is the when block. So inside the when block we need to tell what type of API is this. This is delete, right? So you can mention delete dot delete and inside this parenthesis we need to configure the URL, right? So what is the URL? The URL is like this. So we have this base URI, so we need this resource and then ID, right? So I'm going to access here. So here we have to mention like ID, this one, not this one, basically. So here what is the thing we need to configure first is resource, right? So I'm going to type the resource slash booking slash, and then after that what we need to add the ID, right? So then I'm going to add ID, so it should be inside this braces, and then we have to do one thing. We just need to add, because this is a string, right? So we just need to put it inside that part, like double quote basically. So I'm going to paste it over there, and now there will be no error. So what we did, this is a resource and this ID is coming from the path parameter, right? So this is the value, right? So like this way is working. So now inside then basically what we can do, we can type status code basically, status status. So basically we just need to remove this thing, and here in this status we can mention status code, and it should be like, for example, 201, for example. Okay, so now here we did this thing, right? Given, when, then. So what it is doing basically, given, when, then, this is actually trying to delete, right? So one important thing I forgot to add. So if you check the API documentation, here there is another thing, we need to add the cookie, right? So we already have a cookie, so we can directly use that cookie value, right? So here is the cookie, right? We created previously authentication token, auth token, and over there we have this type of method where it was creating like this. Anyway, so let's jump it. So here after the spec we just need to declare the cookie, and inside it we need to initialize the value, right? So suppose the value is token, and then auth token. Okay, so this is auth token. Let me double check what is the value. I mean auth token, right? Same thing, we need to use it. So here we need to use this thing, auth token. So there is an error because we forgot to add a comma over there. So once I add it, then it will be nice. There will be no error. Okay, so by this line we already deleted. Now let's verify it whether it is deleted properly or not. We can mention like that, verify deletion. So it will check whether that thing is deleted or not, right? So we can use get API call. So what we can do, we can type given, then given, then we have three part, right? Given, when, and at last dot then. Okay, so here I forgot to mention dot. Okay, authentication token, when, then, right? So this is the thing we can use, not authentication, given, when, then. We can remove this thing, we don't need it. So this part is fine. So given, when, then, done. Okay, so here we have to use the get method to verify whether that is there or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add request spec here, dot spec, SPE spec, and request spec is that one, right? So after that we just need to set the parameter, right? Because for get request, what we need to do basically, so this is the get request. We can go to get booking, and this is the booking, this one, no, not this one, this one basically, booking, get booking ID. So here this is the resource, not resource, this is the base URI, and this part is the resource, and there is ID, right? So this is the path parameter we can mention like that way. So here given this thing, and then after that I'm going to define the path parameter a parameter, and here I'm going to choose id, and then I'm going to initialize it with the variable which is called like create booking id, right? So like this way we can add that, and after that we can also verify from here by using this API call. So I'm going to use like get API, because we are just trying to access whether that the data is there or not. I mean, we deleted this ID, right? Now we have to check whether we can access this thing or not. So here inside this get, I'm going to put the section of the code here. So this is the resource site. So I'm going to copy it over there, and once I copied, I'm going to paste it over there, and then slash, not this one. Basically I did mistake, so let me do one thing. Let me copy only this booking, then I'm going to add booking, then slash, and this is the ID, right? We have to use. So this is the ID we are using, and then finally inside the then we can check whether that is like 404 auth token. So here I did mistake. Basically I'm going to redo everything, then dot, here will be a status code, and for this case it will be 404, because there the item will not be there anymore, right? Like this. So I'm going to save it, and then finally I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to choose run as TestNG test, and if everything is fine, then we will not get any error, and we'll see every test cases is executed. Here it is showing like total test run 5, failure 0, escape 0. So total 5 test, passes 5, failure 0, 0. So that means every test cases is working properly, and if we check carefully here, we'll see all the test class and test methods are passed. Okay, and that's it in this this is actually, you can say, like end-to-end flow, because here at first we created on booking ID and with details. So later we actually get the value of that thing, whether it is working properly or not. Then we updated it. After the update we checked also, and finally we deleted. After deletion we are going to check whether the item or the item is available over there or not.